Hello, hello, hello. Talia here. Welcome to Food Buddha. If you're popping on or watching the replay, let me know you're here. I love to know if you guys are watching, if you find this interesting. So participate. If you have any questions, I will be answering them as we go along. So thank you, first of all, for sharing this moment with me today, for taking this moment out of your day, whatever you're doing, whether you're at work or running around doing errands or running around after children. Thank you for taking this time for yourself and for me today. So today I am here talking about empaths and empaths who struggle with weight and self-love. So first of all, let me know if you consider yourself an empath, and I'm going to kind of describe a little bit about what that is just briefly. So basically, I think the dictionary definition or the sort of official definition of an empath is somebody who has the ability to feel other people's energies. So if you consider yourself somebody that can feel other people, when people are grieving, when they're joyful, when they're frustrated, maybe if there's tension between you, it kind of drives you nuts because you can really feel that. If you're in a room with people that are, have been arguing and there's this weird tension that bothers you, that is strong, that you can really feel, chances are that you're an empath, if that's something that really resonates with you. Often empaths also feel things very deeply, and they consider themselves, or other people say they're sensitive. That's a really common one. That's something I've heard since I was a little kid, that I'm sensitive, and now I have a daughter who's the same. So considered sensitive, often because of all these feelings. Sometimes you can feel like you don't fit in. So that could be now, or that could be at childhood. It could be fit in with your family, or fit in with, whatever, your church, your groups, your stuff. Sometimes you feel a bit like an outsider because you are so sensitive and feel other people's energies so much. I made notes before because I was really inspired. I wanted to make sure I didn't forget anything. So if I'm looking down, that's what I'm looking at. Sometimes us empaths feel like you can't turn it off. Sometimes you might have thoughts about like, oh, I wish I could just like walk through a mall and not get overwhelmed. Or, oh, I wish I could just go to a party and relax, instead of either thinking about what everybody else is feeling, if everyone else is happy or where they're at, or thinking, what do I look like? How are other people judging me? A lot of thoughts. So maybe social situations can be overwhelming if you're an empath. So while you're watching this, let me know if any of these are you and which ones. I'd love to hear. Also, empaths can be more passive, not always, but more passive, meaning maybe don't like to ruffle feathers, maybe don't want to cause a scene, maybe don't want to be in the center of the attention, therefore are less aggressive and just a bit more passive in life. So that's just kind of an overall view of like an empath type person. So if you resonate with any of those, then I'm sure that you probably are an empath and you're watching this, which tells me you're drawn to it for a reason. So when we struggle with weight and ultimately self-love and self-care, the reason why it can be such a heavy ride and such a different ride is because we tend to internalize things. Because we are so sensitive, all those feelings are amplified. So the feelings of not being good enough, the feelings of I wish I was here by now, the feelings of how they're judging me, or how I look in a bathing suit, or what I'm eating and how that feels and what other people are thinking about it, and getting on the scale, being self-conscious, whatever. We feel things so deeply. So somebody with a different personality type could get on the scale and maybe they didn't change weight, or 1 pound or something, when they're really trying to lose weight, and they might go, okay, well, I'll try better next week. An empath might be more likely to be like, oh, it's hopeless. Like they really internalize it. Like this will never work. And something will trigger a flood of like hopelessness and regret and remorse and like all this stuff, because we feel things so much that it's all very in there, which is often why empaths honestly do have struggles with weight, because they're carrying that protection on their body, protection from the intensity of the world sometimes. So we tend to internalize things. We care a lot about what other people think. So in this struggle with weight, you may find yourself really caring what your family members think of you, what your friends think of you. If you're, going out for coffee with an old friend from high school, one of the first things you might think of is like, oh, how I look. So you really care about what others think of you and think of you physically and emotionally, and how good, you might feel like you're always screwing up or something like that, because everything is being felt so deeply. Also, in this journey of struggle with weight, you might worry what's ahead. So let me know in the comments if you're somebody who tends to worry of what's ahead, especially in this time while you're awakening, you're opening up, you're growing and changing and shifting and releasing. There's probably some worries there about, what if I leap and I fail? Or am I prepared enough? Am I strong enough? Is this really my time? Am I brave enough? What about the money? What about the time it's going to take? You might worry a lot about these things, which honestly, when not acknowledged, can actually cause you to not act at all on the things that you really want, because you're so worried and feeling so deeply about what could happen and what it'll take. And your imagination is so wild that it could really seem like way too big of a mountain to climb, and so you just don't, which in my opinion is one of the biggest detriments, is if you just don't act. Because if you are doing something, the universe will redirect you, like, this doesn't feel good, go here, and you'll kind of find your way. But if you're not acting, the universe can't help you, and it's really hard to get anywhere. So empaths might sometimes just get stopped. It's like overwhelmed in our tracks, stopped, and may stop acting. So in all of this, of course, I want to give you something of like, well, what do we do then? Because we're not just doomed. This is the amazing part, is you can see how it feels overwhelming. Like you're in a box, it's too much. What if? Oh my goodness, am I good enough? I'll probably fail. All this stuff. But at the core of it all is an empath, a beautiful, sensitive person who is needed on this planet and who has extraordinary gifts to help others, to heal others, to be amazing friends and moms and care workers. So I need you at the core of your everything to remember that you are special. And you have your unique gifts to bring to this world. But all of this I just painted is when you're stuck. It feels like that. But when you have a wild imagination, so as you dream of a better life and start getting farther away from those, like, what if I'm not good enough? You start recognizing like, law of attraction, maybe I really can create the life I want. And you're kind of dreaming and conjuring up what you want for the future. If you leap because of that good imagination, you will surprise yourself what you're capable of, because you're already a feeler. Things already, like, when they make sense, you're passionate about them. Even if it's passionate about feeling not good enough, it sounds funny, but you go at things full steam, all or nothing sometimes. So when you are on the other side of the challenge, you have such an amazing gift within you. You have a knowing, you have an intuition that you will only get more from here. You have a higher self, you have a connection to this universe, and you are a very special person. We need people like you. So it's not all doom and gloom to be an empath, that's for sure. It's amazing. But we have to learn how to, a little bit, maybe sometimes protect our energy. But what it really comes down to is have faith that you're this way for a reason. And remember that when things just feel intense, we can work on that. We can protect you and get you to a happier place where not everything feels so intense. And on the other side of the struggle is this massive gift. So one other things with empaths is often when they're weak, when they're worn down, they're tired, they're drained, it's kind of like all or nothing. It's the nothing side. Sometimes unmotivated, feeling lazy, even if you're not physically lazy, just feeling like, ugh. But when you're strong, you are a powerhouse. You are the person that makes change, inspires people, and is somebody to really take note of in this world. And you're a really big help and service to others. So on the weak side, it feels really draining and weak and overwhelming. But on the strong side of your personality, if you're an empath, you have a strength beyond measure. We're talking like universe-sized strength that you can help other people and help yourself way quicker than you think is possible. So the biggest thing I'm going to say that you need to do, this is what I think in my experience with clients and with myself and everything, is support. Because you tend to do it like a lone wolf. And for an empath personality that feels things even deeper, being alone is not always a good thing. Alone time, me time, nurture time is good. But to push other people and be alone is not good. So I need you to start talking about the things that bother you. And it doesn't mean you have to have giant vent sessions, but open up to someone. Let someone into your world, whether it's your mate or your friend or a mentor like myself or someone that can help you, your support system. Find a support system. Because you thrive in that. Because again, you feel things so deeply. When you have support, you feel that support so deeply that it catapults you in the direction of everything you want to be. It takes you from that weak, drained energy into like the powerhouse of powerhouses. The people that like are just so imaginative and creative and get shit done and have visions and are just like thirsty for it, hungry for it. That's where it catapults you, is getting supported. So start with like whatever feels comfortable to you, whether it's jumping into like working with me or somebody else, or simply starting with audiobooks, exploring things that inspire you. Be out in nature more often, start doing yoga, whatever it is that you're kind of like, I'm really drawn to this and I'm not sure why. Pursue those things. Start finding the you that is inspired because you feel things deeply and you have a strong connection. You are very, I was going to say prone to inspiration, but inspiration comes naturally to you when you're open, when you're feeling good, when you're in receptive mode. So get inspired by life. Do things that inspire you and feel support from whatever is calling your name right now. Feel support from your friends, from your family, from a mentor, from something, from the universe. Feel that support and you will fly higher and faster than you ever thought possible. Being an empath is a beautiful thing. And the biggest thing that most of these people with this type of personality say is, I just need to learn how to work with it and how to sort of maximize it while protecting yourself. But once you have that down, you have such a gift. You're so powerful. You're so beautiful. And I really wish the best for you. Reach out to me because I know what it's like to work with you, to work with these type of people, empaths. And I know that you don't need something too hard. You don't need somebody yelling at you and trying to like shake the personal development into you. But you also don't need somebody who's so passive that the universal message isn't being said. What you really need isn't being said. And believe me, I know that because I am one. And the people that are attracted to me just love that mix of this, like, I'm in this for you, I'm so committed, but I'm never going to be yelling at you or be mean to you, because that's not what you need either. So if you struggle and it's your time and this is calling to you, reach out to me. And for everybody else, just get inspired. Do what lights you up. Get supported by friends, by family. Reach out. Start talking about it. Start busting through the shell of overwhelm, because your power's on the other side of it. And it's absolutely stunning what is on the other side. I love you so much. Thank you again for spending this moment with me. And if you need any more support, reach out. I'm always here for you. Till next time.